So this week is Estate Planning Awareness Week, and in honor of that, I thought I would hop on and answer some of the questions that we get a lot here in the Trust and Wealth Management Department about estate planning. So the first question that we get quite a bit is, do I need estate planning? Is this something that's really necessary? And I would say, in short, the answer is yes, absolutely. Having estate planning really puts you in the driver's seat. Having proper planning makes sure that your wishes are followed. And it helps not only with making sure that your assets are distributed the way you want them to after you die, but it also makes sure that your needs and the needs of your loved ones are met during your lifetime too. So, what are the things that you should be thinking about as you enter the estate planning process? Well, one, I would say make sure that you work with an attorney. We are very fortunate here in this area to have several great attorneys throughout the service area that will meet with you and they'll determine your needs. They'll talk to you about your specific situation, and they're going to prepare all the legal documents that are necessary to complete this process. Second, a lot of times people are wondering what happens to my assets when I die. Well, your estate plan basically allows you to lay out how you want your assets to be distributed upon your passing. So it lets you say who you want to receive those assets, how you want them to receive those assets, and you're the one who's dictating that versus state law laying out how those assets will be passed on. Usually, this is accomplished through people using wills or trusts or beneficiary designations. And that's really something that your attorney will work with you to determine what you need. Having the right documents in place can help you avoid the probate process, which can be costly and it can be time consuming. So, having those documents in place just avoid that process altogether. The third thing to think about is, what happens if I become incapacitated or I'm unwilling or unable to handle my own affairs while I'm still alive? So, this is where having a power of attorney document comes into play. There are really two types of power of attorney documents. The first type is a medical power of attorney, and the second part is a financial power of attorney. And these documents allow you to name who is going to step in and make those decisions for you if you're not willing or able to do that. The medical document lets you indicate who's going to make those medical decisions, and it can also let you lay out what type of treatment you want. What do you want as far as end of life treatment, that kind of thing. And it really lets you spell that out so that you're in control of what's happening in those situations. The other part of it is a financial power of attorney, and this nominates somebody to make financial decisions for you if you're not able to do that. And these are really important to have in place because a lot of people think, well, if I'm married, then I'm automatically going to be able to make those decisions for my spouse if I need to, or they're going to be able to make those decisions for me. Or if I have a child who's over 18 and they're not with me all the time, or if they are, that I'll be able to make those decisions for them just because I'm their parent. And unfortunately, that's not the case. Unless you have a power of attorney document in place, you don't have the legal authority to make decisions for someone else. So what ends up happening is you have to go to the probate court to get a guardianship or conservatorship. So really, to avoid all of that, just having those documents in place will allow you or your loved ones to be able to make those decisions if you need to. And I always emphasize this, but I think it's really important for anyone who's over 18 to have those power of attorney documents in place. So the fourth thing to think about is, what does happen to your children if you pass away or you become incapacitated? Having the estate planning in place allows you to nominate a guardian, and that guardian can then provide care for your children if you can't do that. And it's really important too because estate planning lets you lay out and make sure that your children are provided for financially too if something happens to you. So this process is really important to make sure that your children are taken care of in case you're not able to provide the care. And lastly, something that people don't think about a lot is, what happens if you need long-term care? Having an estate plan allows you to prepare in advance so that if you do need nursing home care, you can make sure that you're able to receive the care you need and that your family, who may still be at home, is still going to be taken care of. So, these are all things that when you work with an attorney, they're going to go through these things with you and just make sure that these things are all covered for you. There's also a lot of other things to think about too, as far as tax planning, making sure that you're passing assets on to your family in the most tax efficient way possible. And also, a lot of people like to make sure that they're giving to charities or they have things that are really important and near and dear to them. And you can make sure through estate planning that your charitable giving is done in the most efficient way possible. So really, what's our role here at Range Bank? What does the Range Bank Trust and Wealth Management do in this process? And while we don't actually prepare estate planning documents here at Range Bank, we offer a wide variety of services that can help you through this process. And we work with your estate planning attorneys, your tax professionals, your beneficiaries, your heirs, and we can just make sure that your estate is administered in the most effective way possible. And the way we do that is we serve as successor trustee, and we will help administer your estate if you're not able to. So a lot of times people like working with a third party like Range Bank because we bring a lot of expertise to the table. This is something that we do all the time, and we're used to going through this process. And this can be really helpful if you have complicated assets, if you have difficult family dynamics, or even if you just don't want to burden your family members with administering the estate. Some people don't want to put that on their kids and on their family. And we're able to do that for them. We're able to take that burden and make sure the assets are all distributed, taxes are paid, and the estate's settled in the way that it's supposed to be and in the quickest and most efficient way possible. We're really here to help your family through that process. So, in closing, it's Estate Planning Awareness Week, and estate planning is important for all phases of life. So, if you haven't done so, I highly encourage you to find an attorney and begin the estate planning process so that you can make sure things are lined up and that you and your family are taken care of in the future. As always, we're here to answer any questions you may have, so please don't ever hesitate to reach out to us here at Range Bank Trust and Wealth. Thank you.